Have you ever walked away from a conversation, not because you lost, but because you refused to play their game? Have you ever felt the urge to defend yourself, but choose not to? Not out of fear, not out of weakness, but because deep down, you knew something they didn't. We live in a world addicted to noise, to constant commentary, to arguments where no one truly listens, only waits for their turn to speak. In this world, silence is suspicious. People interpret it as passivity, ignorance, even guilt. But what if silence is the opposite? What if silence is strategy? Friedrich Nietzsche, the philosopher of fire and shadow, didn't just speak about strength. He embodied it. He saw the world not as it pretended to be, but as it really is, a stage where most people wear masks of confidence to hide their chaos. Nietzsche once wrote, "He who has a why to live can bear almost anyhow." But he also showed us another truth. He who knows his own worth does not scream it, he lives it. This video is for those who are tired of being misunderstood, not because they failed to express themselves, but because they no longer wish to. It's for the people who choose their battles, not out of fear of losing, but out of confidence that some wars aren't worth fighting. You don't need to raise your voice to be heard. You don't need to win debates to own your truth. And you don't need to react to every challenge to prove you're powerful. Let's step inside Nietzsche's world, not of chaos, but of clarity. A world where silence isn't absence, it's dominance. Why do we rush to reply? Why do we feel cornered by someone's loud words, arrogant tone, or smug expression? Because we were raised to believe that if we don't answer, we lose. We were trained to believe that silence is surrender. But Nietzsche flips that script. He saw that most people argue not because they're strong, but because they're insecure. They shout to silence their own doubt. They dominate to distract from their emptiness. To Nietzsche, those who seek validation through argument are already slaves to approval. They're playing a game of shadows, hoping others will confirm their reality. But the one who has nothing to prove, that person terrifies them, because silence is unpredictable. It doesn't give away intention. It doesn't reveal fear. It doesn't feed the fire. It lets it burn itself out. Nietzsche admired the rare person who could walk through chaos untouched, who didn't react, who didn't flinch, who had mastered themselves so completely that no insult, no provocation, no challenge could shake them. That's power, not in dominating others, but in being undominated by anything. So how do we live this out? How do we become, in Nietzsche's words, the Übermensch, the person who rises above the petty morality of the crowd? It starts with this. Choose your silence intentionally. Don't use it to avoid discomfort. Use it to rise above it. Silence, when it comes from fear, is submission, but silence, when it comes from strength, is strategy. Observe how people talk over each other, how they scramble to be right. Now imagine being the one who says nothing and still wins the room. That's Nietzsche's vision, not to be louder, but to be deeper, not to fight harder, but to be freer. The one who commands the most attention is not the one who shouts, it's the one whose presence makes shouting feel small. So the next time you feel pressured to respond, pause. Ask yourself, do I really need to speak? Or is my silence already speaking for me? Because sometimes the most powerful sentence is the one you never say. Nietzsche didn't give us answers. He gave us a mirror. And in that mirror, we see this truth. Your silence is not weakness. It's your strength wrapped in mystery. Use it wisely, and watch the world adjust. If you found value in this, hit like, subscribe, and let Nietzsche's silence echo through every room you walk into.